Hey, what is going on, guys? Nathan here with another Magic the Gathering deck update video. In this video, I'd like to go over the changes made to my main Tryhard deck, so to speak. So I'm running actually a green-blue deck at the moment in my main deck. It is 2/3 green, well, maybe about 3/4 green, and about a quarter blue, just for some extra control and flying in there. And as you can see, I have also made a mono white deck. My kind of secondary mono green deck, I just made that out of fun because I wanted to make another green deck, but all of my best cards are in my main Tryhard deck. And then I've got a mono red deck right there. As you can see, the classic lightning bolt card right here, 3 damage for a 1 cost, definitely a very good card. And then we have the unsleeved black deck. Oh, doesn't it look so pathetic? I absolutely hate black, so that's why I actually left that one unsleeved. I do not want to waste sleeves on sleeving black cards. So yeah, don't don't call me racist, but I really just hate black Magic cards in general. Even more than blue. I would rather face a counter deck than a freaking black deck with Death Touch, bringing stuff back and whatnot, and whatever else black attempts to do. So, I did want to go over pretty much the changes I've made to this main deck. A lot of it is the same in terms of green. I just wanted to actually mainly go over the new blue stuff. I believe the last video I actually uploaded where I covered this main deck, I was running a green-white still, but I actually consolidated all of my white into this mono white, which is actually going to pretty much be my secondary go-to deck. If I'm not happy with how this deck is performing, which will be like 1% of the time, because let's face it, this deck is amazing, then I'll go to my mono white. And I actually have ordered some very good cards from my mono white, which should be coming in tomorrow, but I'll go over all these decks in due time. Anyway, so these cards are organized in the usual video fashion. We have creatures that are low cost, 4 or lower. High cost creatures, as you can see, it's a really gigantic stacking compared to everything else. We've got some mana ramp here. These are buffs. So these used to be support cards, but I actually just decided to make all of them buffs because I discovered, or rather I forgot about, this card that I had ordered called Ransor, and for a 1 cost you can enchant a creature to have +2/+0 and have trample. Now, this card might actually be kind of going to waste in this deck because a lot of my stuff already has trample, but the extra power is always nice. And the only card, or at least the big creature anyway, that doesn't have trample is my 3 Wolfear Silver Hearts right here. And these guys are just absolutely dominant. Oh, I guess I'm running 4 of them. Wow, I did not know I'm running 4 of them. Okay, well, anyway, these guys are just overpowered as shit, and to give them trample would be insane because they're basically an 8/8 for 5. That is crazy efficient, even better than Terra Stomper, and to give them trample is basically GG at that point. So we have low-cost creatures, high-cost creatures, mana ramp, buffs, and there we have the classic, very efficient Giant's Growth, which I would much rather run than Titanic Growth, which is kind of the classic green buff card. And then we get into our blue support. So, I'll actually go over the blue support in depth before I go to in depth the green. So these are organized into just creatures, counter spells, and sort of support, kind of. The main thing that I've noticed was wrong with this deck is that I have a lot of trouble combating flyers, kind of as green usually does. So what I did was I actually included 4 flying creatures. We have 4 Dungeon Guys here. These are flyers. And what Dungeon Guys actually do is for a 4 cost, it's a 3/3 flyer, and it taps a target creature an opponent controls, and that creature doesn't untap as long as you control this card. So this card is basically a rest, but it's a 3/3 flyer for 1 more mana. That is insane. This is an insanely good card, hence why it's rare. As you can see there, the focus is going out. So I got 4 flying in there. I've got, and then to also kind of support my, or rather defend against flyers, I have 2 levitations in here. If you would focus, please, camera. Levitation is kind of just the classic blue. It's an uncommon. It is a 4 cost. Please focus. She's getting there. Come on. Come on. Let's try this. Whatever. Well, anyway, Levitation gives all creatures that you control flying. So there we go. There the focus comes in. And it is for a 4 cost. Now, I've actually ran into a situation before where I wanted to use this card, but I didn't have enough islands to actually use this card. So what I've actually done in terms of land to kind of support these blue spells, for example, Nullify is very blue intensive. It's only 2, but 2 islands is actually pretty expensive if depending on my land composition. So actually, to kind of transfer this kind of stuff to the land composition, I actually have, I believe this is 8 islands. Let me count these real quick. It is 6 islands. Okay, so there's 6 islands. I believe there are 10, I want to say forests. I hope there's 12 actually. Let me count these out real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 3, 6, 9, 10. Yes, there's 10, so that's 16. So 10 forests, 6 islands, 16, and then I'm running 4 Temple of Mysteries. Now, I really like this non-basic land because it, like, Scry is so good. I mean, like, Scry isn't like a game winner ability, but I just like it because it's very safe. It's an ability that kind of bails you out of a lot of situations. So I'm running 4 Temple of Mysteries, and that gives me a total of 20 land. Now, this 20 land, I should be fine. The only problem is actually getting my initial land out there. I really need about 3 land, to be honest, before I can start using these mana ramp. Elvish Mystic is always just a great card. It's just kind of a classic green card. We've got Rampant Growth, which is a 2 cost and gives me another land, and Kodama's Reach, which is a 3 cost. So pretty low cost mana ramp. So in any given starting hand, I should have about 2 to 3 forests. And if not, then I'll try to mulligan that away. So land is not a concern for me at the moment, but I do like the extra scry ability of the Temple of Mystery. Now, speaking of land and mixing the two, I'm actually running 2 Prophets of Kruphix, and I would have actually more of these cards. Basically, this card is a 5 cost with 1 green, or 1 forest, 1 island. And what it does is it untaps all creatures and lands I control during my opponent's untap step. Now, and I can also cast creature cards as though they had flash. And it's just a 2/3 human wizard. Now, this card is amazing, and I hope I get to use this card during, I don't know, whatever my matches, whenever I play this deck, because this card basically allows me to spawn twice as many creatures as the opposing player, and also it also opens up my land for some counter spells, which I only have 2 of in the deck, but you know, a well-timed counterspell draw can really save you sometimes. So this almost gives me 2 turns for my opponent's 1, and that is crazy. This card is crazy good. Obviously a rare, as you can see right there. But this card is just, it's just absolutely amazing, and I'm going to try to fix this little mess of a pile that I created. So I think this deck is really solid. Let me just, I'll come back to the blue in just a second. I haven't made many changes to the actual content of the green portion of this deck. We've got 2 Trees of Redemption, just an OP as shit card. It's a mythic. Yeva Nature's Herald, Great Sable Stag, and then we've got 3 Voripedes, 4 Wilfir Silverhearts. Let's see, is it 3 Terror Stompers and 2 Bellowing Tangleworms. Now, Voripede is an Undying Trample Vigilance 5/4 card for 5, which is crazy. He's a mythic, just amazing. Wolfir Silverheart should be beyond a mythic. Like, this card is so broken. It has Soul Bond. It's a 4/4 for 5. It has Soul Bond, and the Soul Bond is each creature it bonds with, or rather, the only creature it bonds with, gets +4/+4. And not only that, but Wolfir Silverheart gets +4/+4 himself because of how Soulbond works. Now, if I had, for example, 2 Wolfir Silverhearts on the field, that is 2 12/12 cards for the cost of, well, 10 mana in total. If I were to spawn the actual creatures one after another. So if I have 5 mana on the field, one turn I can have a 4/4, and the next turn possibly, like, I don't know, okay, so if we just figure I have a really good hand, turn 3 or 4, I have a 4/4 on the field, turn 4 or 5 or 5 or 6 or whatever, I have 2 12/12s because they can bond with each other. That is amazing. And then Terra Stomper is obviously just always an efficient card. It's an 8/8 for 6 with trample and can't be countered. That's freaking amazing. And Bellowing Tangleworm, it has Intimidate himself and gives other green creatures that I have Intimidate. That is insane, meaning that my opponent cannot block all of my green creatures on the board. Oh, that's so amazing. And not only that, but my blue creatures that I have, even though they won't have Intimidate if Bellowing Tangleworm happen to be on the field, these guys are flyers. So if my opponent is running just some, I don't know, just your average green land creatures, then these guys are unblockable anyway. So it's so good. Everything is just so good. Then we have, like I described before, Giant Growth, just your typical buff card, and Ransaur is the +2/+0, and it gives the creature trample. So this deck is just super aggro. I don't even need red in there. Red is too slow for me. I am getting the mana out, and I am laying down these huge creatures as fast as possible. And these guys are here to help me out. So I am running 1 Pin to the Earth, though, just in case I run into a very powerful card, or maybe some sort of island walk, or not island walk, like some sort of forest walk creature or something where they'll be able to do huge damage. So small chance I'll actually pull this card, but hey, it can be useful, so I'm running it anyway. And then that is pretty much my main deck. This is an insanely good deck, and hence why it is my Tryhard deck. Let's see. Well, I didn't cover Nullify, but Nullify just counters target creature or aura spell. So this is a good card. It's basically a 2 cost to counter creatures, which is what I'm really looking to counter at this point. This deck is so amazing. I am just absolutely in love with it. I think overall this deck costs together probably $30 to $40 after all of the ordering was done and over with. I didn't order like all of these cards at once, obviously, because I've made past videos on the deck. But piece by piece, card by card, it's probably about $30 to $40. So just a very, very good deck. And I don't know. Let me know what kind of green deck you guys run, because I think you just can't beat that mana ramp into huge creatures. It's just so good. And yeah, I think that's about it. So next video I'll actually upload a sort of breakdown of my mono white deck, which you know, I've gone through phases of thinking that mono, or not mono white, but white in general is not that good. But white, just how it functions, as it is with its flyers and its life gain and its tokens and all of this other support type of stuff, it kind of supports itself in a way, which is really hard to explain. But I am just, yeah, I like white enough now that I think I'll actually do a sort of deck breakdown on my mono white deck. This is my favorite white card probably of all time, Indomitable Ancients. It's just a 2/10. It's pretty much Tree of Redemption for the same mana cost, but it can attack. I don't know, I just decided to include it on the top of the deck just to show off how awesome this is. Anyway, I can't talk today, I guess, but here's where I'll actually wrap up the video. Thank you all for watching. As always, feel free to leave a rating on the video if you did enjoy my content, and feel free to subscribe. I totally said that in the wrong order. Anyway, I'll see you guys later. Peace out.